Okay, wonderful. I'll continue to admit folks as they may join, but let's get underway. Um, I want to introduce myself and others from the program administrator team for today's community-driven community solar random selection events for projects submitted during the 90-day application window of the 25-26 program year. I'm Senior Marketing Manager at Energy Solutions, and we're also joined by Patrice Flynn, Senior Program Director at Energy Solutions, Jess Blue, Community Solar Sector Strategist, and Nate Zeiler from our software team, who will select the projects during the session. We're also very thankful to have the Illinois Power Agency with us, including the Illinois Shines program team. Before we start, please note that the IPA's 2026 long-term plan is currently under consideration by the Illinois Commerce Commission, ICC, in docket number 25-0945. The ICC is expected to issue a final order approving the plan and any changes to it on or before February 17th, 2026. As the long-term plan is presently under consideration in an open docketed proceeding before the ICC, any communications with the IPA or its program administrator regarding the substance of the plan are considered ex parte in nature and will be memorialized and filed as part of the record in that proceeding consistent with Section 5-50 of the Illinois State Officials and Employee Ethics Act, that's 5 ILCS 430. To participate in the docket, you may intervene in the proceeding before the ICC, consistent with the process outlined in the Commission's Rules of Practice, or file a public comment on the ICC's docket. And I'm going to go ahead and share the links to that in the chat. So I hope you can all see that. And with that, I will now pass it to Patrice Flynn, who will introduce the CDCS random selection event. Patrice?
Excellent. Thank you, Mike. Before we review the agenda, I'm going to share just a couple of housekeeping items. Today, everybody is going to be muted during the presentation. Please use the Q&A box for questions, which is separate than the comments box or the chat box. There's a Q&A box for questions, and please keep those questions to the random selection process. We'll answer as many of these questions as we can at the end of today's presentation. A video recording of the webinar, presentation slides, and post-webinar Q&A will be published at the program website following the meeting. Taking a look at the agenda, we've done our introductions. So then we'll go through the overview of the process. We'll go through project selection. We'll talk about next steps and then answer some of those Q&A, answer some of those questions. So taking a look at the introduction of the event, program year 2025-26 opening day was June 2nd, 2025. On that day, community-driven community solar capacity became available. For this program year, capacity available for the CDCS category was 34.07 megawatts for Group A and 56.99 megawatts for Group B, which included the addition of uncontracted capacity allocation from the 24-25 program year. On day one, capacity was initially allocated to projects on the 24-25 program year waitlist, leaving 11.01 megawatts of capacity available for Group A and 25 megawatts available for Group B for newly submitted applications. During the 90-day application window, we received a total of 84 applications. This included 14 project applications totaling 41.46 megawatts for Group A and 70 project applications totaling 113.36 megawatts for Group B. In accordance with the CDCS scoring guidelines previously published in both the 2024 Long-Term Renewable Resources Procurement Plan and the 25-26 Program Guidebook, we scored all projects submitted during the 90-day application window of the program year. The program year 2024-25 capacity had an expansion on October 31st, 2025. Following that 90-day application window, the 2024 long-term plan was reopened following additional capacity for the CDCS category. A program announcement with a summary of additional capacity allocation was published, and the block capacity dashboard was updated. Additionally, this reopening established another 45-day application window for CDCS applications opening January 16th, 2026. We can go ahead and share that announcement link in the chat so you can reference that during today's meeting and moving forward. Due to this reopening, the CDCS category received 11 megawatts for Group A and 25 megawatts for Group B. As a result, there is 28.75 megawatts of available capacity in Group A and 55.06 megawatts of available capacity in Group B that will be filled during today's event. Since there are tied scores among the projects submitted during that 90-day application window, we will utilize the random selection process to fill the available capacity and then order that wait list for both Groups A and Group B. I'm going to hand it over now to Nate Zeiler, who'll give an overview of that random selection process. Nate?
Thanks. So before I start the selection process, I want to share our methodology. We've scored all the submitted projects for this year's CDCS block. A few projects have received the same score. In order to fairly create an ordered list of projects, we have to randomly sort the projects with tying scores. We do this through a process called random selection, using a command line script to generate random tiebreaker numbers. Why do we use a command line script? The short answer is that Excel does not allow audit-level transparency into how it generates random numbers without the use of Visual Basic. The command line script allows for full auditing and reproducibility of the results of the tiebreaker. The algorithm used for the selection of projects is written in the programming language Python and uses the basic function random. This function is commonly used in games and lotteries or any application requiring a random number. How does it work? The command line script works by generating a seed, a starting point for the random number generator at the exact microsecond of execution time, and then outputs the requested number of unique random numbers between 1 and 0 to add to the project data spreadsheet. The projects are then ordered by project ID, and all projects receive a tiebreaker number. The microsecond ensures that the seed is impossible to predict. The granting of tiebreakers even to projects that were withdrawn ensures that the numbers are distributed fairly, and the use of the project ID ordering ensures that the process can be repeated by an auditor. Finally, the script merely generates random numbers and has no access to any of the project or scoring information whatsoever, ensuring that the randomness is agnostic of the selection process. So I will do our random selection now. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Great. So these are the projects submitted to Group A during the 90-day application window of the 2025-26 program year. There are currently 28.75 megawatts available in Group A. We use random selection to break ties between projects that received the same score this year in order to order the submitted projects. Each project receives the random 16-digit number between 0 and 1. Any projects with the same score will be reordered based on this tiebreaker value. So first, I sort by project ID from smallest to largest. This gets us a repeatably ordered list of projects since project ID is unique. Then I see how many projects are in Group A. There are 14. And then I'll use command line to run our script. Enter the number of projects that need a random number generated, hit enter. The script generated this seed, the starting point for the random number generator, and then a column of unique random numbers between 0 and 1. So I'll copy that, paste it into the spreadsheet. Now all our projects have a tiebreaker value, and I will resort our projects. They'll first be sorted by total points from largest to smallest, and then random number from largest to smallest. Sort from total points, largest to smallest, random number, largest to smallest. This is our ordered list of projects for Group A. You can see they're first sorted by total points from largest to smallest, and then by random number where they're tied. I'll take the top projects until Group A's 28.75 megawatt capacity is full. I will only select projects that fill up this capacity but do not exceed it. It looks like the first 7 projects will fill Group A, so I will copy those and bring them over. This tab brings in project data, including name, AV information, and project size. The selected capacity for Group A is being summed in field G2, but we're not over the limit for Group A. I'll double check that the next project will push Group A over the limit. This does push us over the limit, so I will remove it. Okay, these are the selected projects for Group A. Double check them. They're still sorted by total points and then by tiebreaker value. And they were selected in order according to this list. These are the selected projects for Group A. They will be submitted to the ICC in the next 1 to 2 meetings, and the remaining projects with a score of at least 10 points will be placed on the waitlist for Group A. So I'll create the waitlist. All projects with a score of at least 10 will go to the waitlist, which is all remaining projects. I'll double check our waitlist. They're again ordered by total points and then random number. And I'll check that I did not miss any projects, so that's good. This is our waitlist for Group A. You'll be able to find this updated waitlist on the block capacity dashboard page of the Illinois Shines website following this event. Move on to Group B. These are the projects submitted during the 90-day application window of the 2025-26 program year. There are 55.06 megawatts available in Group B. I'll again use random selection to break ties between projects that receive the same score. So first I sort by application ID from largest to smallest. Then I see how many projects are in Group B. There are 70 projects. I'll use the random generator to generate our tiebreaker values. Again, this generated the seed based on the microsecond I hit enter and a list of random numbers. Copy that and add it to the project data spreadsheet. Double check all the projects received a tiebreaker value. I'll resort the projects now again by total points, largest to smallest, then random number, largest to smallest. Total points, largest to smallest, random number, largest to smallest. This is our order list of projects for Group B. You can see they're sorted by total points and then by random number where the points are tied. Great. I'll take the top projects until Group B's 55.06 capacity is full. I'll only select projects that fill up this available capacity but do not exceed it. For Group B, looks like these 27 projects. So copy these project IDs and bring them into the project data spreadsheet. So the selected capacity for Group B is being summed in field G2. You can see we're not over the limit for Group B. I will double check that the next project does push us over the limit, which it does. So I will remove that project. This is our selected project list for Group B. They'll be, well, I'll double check them. They're ordered by total points and then tiebreaker value. We'll make sure we didn't miss any projects. They are still in this order. These are the selected projects for Group B. They'll be submitted to the ICC in the next 1 to 2 meetings, and the remaining projects with a score of at least 10 points will be added to the waitlist for Group B. So that is all of these projects except the last one, which I will add to the waitlist. I'll double check the waitlist that they are ordered by total points and then by their tiebreaker value. Looks good. I'll double check that no projects were missed. We have our selected projects, and then we have our wait list. Okay. This is the wait list for Group B. Give you a chance to look over it. You'll be able to find this updated waitlist on the block capacity dashboard page of the Illinois Shines website following this event. I'll pass it back to Jess to go over next steps.
All right, thanks so much, Nate. So as mentioned, the selected projects will be submitted to the next 1 to 2 ICC meetings, and the waitlist will be updated and published to the Illinois Shines website on the block capacity dashboard page. A recording of this event and communication of the results will be published within 3 days. And additionally, the program will open another 45-day application window on January 16th, 2026, regardless of capacity availability as of that date. Please note that any projects submitted during this second window will need to score a minimum of 10 points to be added to the waitlist. And any projects that are added to the waitlist during the 45-day window will be placed behind any projects added to the waitlist during today's event. And with that, I will pass it back to Mike to facilitate any Q&A.
Thank you, Jess, Nate, and Patrice. Do not yet have any questions, but we want to invite you to use the time we have available. If you do have a question specific to today's event, please use the Q&A box and we'll address those if we're able to. So we'll allow a moment or two for people to do that. As my colleagues have shared, we will be posting these results and a recording of today's presentation and the slides to the program website shortly, so you'll be able to review them in greater detail. But we'll give everybody another moment or two for any questions. Okay. Having done this before, it may be familiar to our stakeholders. So if you do have a question subsequent to today's event, please reach out to our team, including Jess, our community solar sector strategist. With that, I do want to thank all of today's program participants for attending today's session. We appreciate you taking the time to participate in the process in today's event. We will remain available by email as mentioned and at office hours to provide additional support, answer questions, and per Jess's remarks, we'll be sharing additional information specific to the application open on January 16th for additional capacity in CDCS. I'll pause there in case the Illinois Power Agency or our presenters want to add any closing remarks before we adjourn. Okay. Seeing none, I think we can conclude today's event. Again, we thank you for your participation and we look forward to sharing results and details at the program website with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.